Oh, good evening, everybody. I hope you're in good voice, as these Merritt's carols do take a bit of singing. Lots to do and lots to get your voices around. So I hope you're nicely warmed up. As you can see, 2 candles going this evening. So my little mobile are going around, and those little angels playing their trumpets and horns and tenor horn by the looks of things are starting to move around. I think I said to you that the more candles and the faster they go. So if you've got your Merritt's books ready, I'm starting with number 5, Hark the Glad Sound, and let's see how we get on with this. This is probably the most well known of all the Merritt's carols. So here we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, that's probably the most well-known of all the Merritt carol tunes. I think our minister Mark Dunn Wilson has got his head around it at long last. I think it was a bit of a surprise when he came first and we started doing all the parts coming in and things. And for those of you that don't know who Merritt is, my earliest recollection that these books were in two. They now have been, all 12 have been put into one book, and there's a lovely piece here written by Leonard Truran. It must be a Cornishman with a name like Truran. And a lovely bit of history. So just to give you a chance to get your voices back, we'll do bits of the history as we go through, otherwise you'll be sung out by the time you get to the end of this evening. He only lived for 46 years. He lived in an age when disease and hardships in the Cornish tin and copper mines made old men of youths, and the biblical 70 years and 10 was a fiction to all but the lucky few. The son of an Illugan miner, Merritt was a natural musician who developed his musical abilities with the aid of only 6 months' tuition before the age of 18. He had no patron to aid his genius. His home background was one of consistent poverty. So he died in 1908. The historians out there will no doubt be able to think of sort of what was going on. So if he died in 1908 and we subtract 46 years, then he must have been born in what, 1862? Is that right? Possibly. So I don't know what else was going on around 1862. I can't think of anything significant musically. Nevertheless, Thomas Merritt has left a mark. So, Hail Sacred Day. Hopefully now you got your breath back. No, I was just looking at the range of these notes in here. This one is particularly high. So there we go. Hail Sacred Day, auspicious morn. So sopranos, top G's. Goodness me. Well, you had a bit of a warm up, didn't you, with Hail, with Hark the Glad Sound. So I'm sure you'll be all right with Hail Sacred Day, auspicious morn. What we might do is perhaps not do all the verses, but let's do verse 1. And why don't we do verse 3? No, we won't do verse 3 because it's quiet and, well, it starts out with peace. Mind you, doesn't make any difference, does it? Peace, just sort of blast through it. 1 and 2 and 4. Okay, 1, 2 and 4. And I should have given you a number for Hark the Glad Sound in the hymn book, but I haven't noted those. I'm sure you can find those. So, Hail Sacred Day, auspicious morn. Verses 1, 2 and 4. you imagine what fun it must have been singing these things in parts and getting your part right in the days of chapel choirs and all the rest of it, and the kids coming up through and wanting to be able to sing with the adults, and getting all these parts sorted out. Everybody's got something to do. I love the sort of fugal type entries, copying the tune sort of in canon and things. That's really quite remarkable. Merritt was educated at Poole Board School, but it ceased at the age of 11 because his father died. Jobs at Carnbrae Mine and Tolvaden tin streams seemed to be destining the young Thomas to the grinding life of a mine worker, but physical frailty and ill health soon dictated otherwise. For those of you who got this book, I'm sorry that it's bringing coals to Newcastle, isn't it? You can read it for yourselves, but for those of you that don't, before he was 20, he was beginning to earn a meagre living as a music teacher. I can tell you, things haven't changed actually. As organist of Chilly Road Chapel and later 4 Street Methodist Church, both at Iluggan Highway, Redruth, he made his mark amongst the many dedicated musicians of the district, and there are a whole host of Cornish musicians. Some I know the names of that later on, Donald F. Broad and people like that. And Chilly Road Chapel, of course, has disappeared some time back now. I don't think I ever went in there, but 4th Street or Iluggan Highway is still there. By candlelight in his cottage, he began to compose. So, Hark the Herald Angels sings. Quite everybody knows the Mendelssohn tune, but Merritt's tune fares really quite well. It's number 6 in the book, and I think it's it makes a nice change actually to do this tune in contrast to dear old Mendelssohn. So you'll all know the words to this. What was it? 118 was it in the Methodist hymn book? I don't know what it is. It's around 110 in hymns and psalms, and I've yet to sort out what it is in Singing the Faith. But Hark the Herald Angels sing. So once again, it's a bit of a high one. Well, let's see if we can make it a bit easier. I promise to try and play the right notes in the right order, in a slightly lower key. good tune, that, isn't it? Does all the right sort of things. It's got the familiar bits. You go posing at a hymn tune. We've got lines which start out da da dee da da da, and that comes again. And we modulate across to the dominant key where we're meant to. Then we come back again and we go off somewhere else, just briefly. And then we have dee da dee da dee da, like we had at the beginning. So it makes a good, memorable tune, I think. Well, that's my idea. So we're going to do Lo He Comes in a minute, but let's just go back to Merritt composing in his cottage by candlelight. Music poured forth, oratorios, anthems, a sacred cantata, carols and hymns. The Shepherd of Israel is his oratorio, and I did actually get to perform that with Hubert Julian and the Celtic Chorale back some years back, and it's a lovely piece. But the carols are really the things that have survived. Somebody's going to say no, there's other bits and pieces. Soon in the mines and on the surface underground, his vigorous and joyful music swelled the dark, dingy world of the underground levels. The warm, consoling atmosphere of the inns and the fervent religious air of the chapels rang and resounded with his stirring compositions. When Cornish mining declined, the men migrating in masses from the Redruth area took his tunes across the world, and today they can be heard in such far scattered places as Grass Valley, California, the Rand, South Africa, and the York Peninsula, South Australia. So Merritt is all over the world, and indeed it reminds me that I know my dad took a trip to California, and he wanted to go to Grass Valley, and he saw the church, the Grass Valley chapel he'd seen pictures of, so he went there. So unfortunately the chapel was closed at the time, but he did go to Grass Valley. Now then, Lo He Comes, an Infant Stranger. And you have to be careful singing Merritt's carols, in my opinion. You don't sort of you just have to be a bit careful where you take your breaths and things for this. The choir at Truro Methodist will tell you my pet hates for taking a breath at the wrong time. So there are places that you don't sort of take a breath and poke the end of the word out. It doesn't really matter, we're just enjoying ourselves, but from a sort of musical point of view, you don't say hallelujah. That's what tends to happen sometimes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We tend to get that from time to time. This is one of my little pet hates. I'm sure you won't do that, and I'm sure you'll enjoy doing this. One little thing which I've done with this carol, and we got the choir opening, and then the lovely allegretto chorus, hallelujah, hallelujah. In the third verse I tend to start sort of quietly and sedately and speed the thing through, just do a little accelerando, speeding up. This will be in the quiz, which is getting longer by the month rather. So we'll speed through, and then by the time we get to the chorus we're really going for it. I hope you're enjoying this organ as much as I am. It's the 46-stop Hereford Cathedral machine this evening, so Lo He Comes. I wonder if they've ever done Merritt's carols in Hereford Cathedral. Who knows? Let's see. imagine singing that underground, eh? Oh, that would be quite something, wouldn't it? Singing it underground and all the sound echoing around. Well, I don't know how you manage for the ladies' parts, I'm sure. No doubt the gents would have worked out a way how to sort of do it in 4 parts. TTBB for the technically minded, 2 tenors, baritone and bass, or first bass and second bass respectively. Merritt was also talented as a conductor. He often directed choirs, performing his own compositions. For brass and silver bands, the first love of many a Cornishman. And haven't we got some great bands still down this way working really hard? He wrote several works, including a well-known march for the coronation of Edward VII in 1902. Today, from the barren, mine-scarred landscape of Camborne Redruth, the music of Merritt continues to swell, attracting new devotees every year. So those of you that haven't experienced Merritt before, then hopefully be something new to take further around the country and even further around the world. Of all his music, however, the carols, as I said, are best known and loved, reprinted many times, and still the demand for them grows. We bought some new copies when we were St Mary Clement, so that does go back a few years. Published in Redruth, Paul Industrial Estate, in fact. Gentle and modest Methodist that he was, Thomas Merritt attracted the attention of the well-known contemporary composer Malcolm Arnold, and Arnold expressed enormous admiration for the man who overcame such wretched circumstances whilst he was growing up. And in 1968, on the 60th anniversary of Merritt's death, Malcolm Arnold conducted a memorial concert in Truro Cathedral. Massed choirs and bands gave an emotive tribute, unforgettable to those present, to the Cornish miners musicians performing a number of his anthems and carols. And maybe some people listening this evening that may remember that, 1968. I don't remember it. I was 10 at the time. Yes. Angelic Hosts, the first one in the book, with all these parts. Not only are they fun to sing, they're also quite fun to play, because they got some demanding bits here, there and everywhere. Hark what mean those heavenly voices, sweetly sounding through the skies. Hello, Cat's arrived. So you've come to join in. You're gonna behave yourself, are you? That's the problem. I don't want you joining in at the wrong time. Thank you. I might play this one. I might play it all the way through. Actually, hark what mean those heavenly voices. So that those of you that aren't quite so familiar with it, but do. Look who's arrived, look. Just want a bit of attention. You've got food out there. So just behave yourself. Right, let's see if we can play a few. you see my little helper, who probably just wants something to eat. Obviously he's a cat with good taste, because he obviously likes Merritt's carols. They're not to everybody's taste, and I do know one or two people who oh goodness sake, cat, will you just behave yourself, we're not quite so keen on them. However, dear Thomas was doing his bit at the time, and what is in fashion tends to go in and out of fashion, doesn't it? You know, it's the same with hymns, and lots of hymns though have lasted the test of time. Some of the more modern ones are here and gone, and what was popular sort of 20 years ago is not so popular now. So Thomas Merritt is buried in Iluggan churchyard, and there's a plaque on the wall of 4th Street Chapel, Iluggan Highway, 50th anniversary plaque. He was once organist of the chapel, and composed Christmas carols and sung by, I can't see my cat here, he's decided to perch. Yeah, you're a pest. There he is, decided to perch. Has had a great effect, and we're still singing his carols today. A bit like Sankey Evening, isn't it? Have a Merritt's Evening, and we would have had the 3 choirs concert at Redruth. In the well, I don't know what would have happened, because of course Wesley is closed, but that used to be a big tradition. Perhaps do it down at Camborne. Oh look, we'll just have to go over there a minute. Look, we've got one more hymn. So I hope you've enjoyed these. There are some more, and I will include 1 or 2 more. Perhaps they're not quite so well known, but one of my favourites, and we had it the other morning at chapel, sung by the choir, is the Angels from the Realms of Glory. And we're just, because this really is a long one, this one, I won't play the whole thing all the way through, but it's I think it's a real beauty. It's got a lovely organ part. So we will do verses 1 and 2. We will stop with the shepherds at the moment, and we'll do the sages another time. So, Angels from the Realms of Glory. Right, your last big sing. So are you ready? I don't think I'm going to transpose this into another key, because various reasons. I might not get the notes in the right order, or I might get the wrong notes in the right order. You never know. Right. Anyway, let's just get on and what does 5 gives me the whole shooting match. So, in fact, let's go back 1. Let's go back there. Angels from the Realms of Glory. Here we go. I hope you've enjoyed that. That's a beauty, that, isn't it? Real good one, that one. I did think perhaps we should have done 3 verses to really get into the spirit of it. We can always do 1 and 3 another evening, perhaps. Well, thank you for looking in. I do hope you've enjoyed a few Merritt's carols with me and Sebastian. Well, come and make an appearance. No, here we are. Sebastian, he wants something to eat. So keep your requests coming in. If there's a Merritt I haven't done which you would particularly like, I will happily do that. And the other carols I've recorded today, a lovely carol, well, Love Came Down at Christmas, but not to the tune that we usually sing, belong to do it, but a tune, an Irish tune, and it's rather lovely. I had a request to do it, so I needed to find the music, and I wanted to experiment a little bit with a bit more technology. You remember that I used the word meddlesome Matty some time back. I like to, not exactly meddle, but I do like to be able to, so I managed to sort the carol out and play it and then get the words to go up the screen, so I was quite tickled with that today. It's on YouTube if you want to find it, on my channel, Philip Davey Organist, and I put it up there, and I will share it on Facebook before too much longer. But anyway, thank you for your company. I've gone on longer tonight. Thank you to Thomas Merritt, and I suppose that would be a picture of perhaps it's Chili Road, or perhaps it's Illugan Highway. I don't know. Anyway, good night, God bless. Keep your requests coming in. I will see you soon.